All esteem to you who happens sometimes. We're gonna stay in the vibe, the frequency, the wave. Hallelujah. Um, so basically, yeah, light is faith, trust, and positivity. And when we talk about light, that's ultimately how you know when Mashiach was saying, you know, you are the salt of the earth, and we talked about how that idea of the salt bringing out the positive characteristics, it's a light vibration, meaning that like you can feel the energy in the room. It's light. It's not heaviness because it's not driven by darkness in this unseen realm, right? So I want to talk about how when that's the case, then light will it'll basically project you to the driven direction that you're supposed to be going, and there's no more confusion. Because actually, I forgot to mention this earlier, but a part of the definition of Hoshek is also confusion. You know how they say that you know, well, in the script, I believe it's in the book of Hebrews, it talks about how Abba Yahuwah is not the author of what? Confusion. Why? Because confusion is darkness. It's not light. Shalom, Sunni. Light is the clarity you need from Yah to move forward and prosper. See, this is ultimately how you can evaluate if you're dealing with light or not. Are you moving forward? Are you actually advancing? No, like for real, or are you stuck in the same place? These are questions that you got to ask yourself. Am I actually advancing from this? Am I moving forward from this? Right? On the Ruach path Yah has placed you on. A person that is stagnant, watch this, is a person that's in darkness. Right? There's no elevation. This is why Yah, again, and we, you know, I don't have to go deep into this, but this is ultimately why the idea of order is so key. Because order keeps you on path for the direction that you're headed to. Why do you think that they have lines in the road? Like seriously, just think about it from a practical level. What's the purpose of the line in the road? To keep you on what? Keep you on path. Period. Right? So again, that light is cultivated by you doing these things, these ruacho exercises that are not necessarily just for your mind, but they're really for your ruach, to allow your ruach to be in a space to really have authority in that control room. And that was an excellent example of what you said earlier, how the idea of the mind, it's a control room that you are seated in, right? Think of the mind as an engine to your car, and your ruach is the one driving. Hallelujah. That's how that works. So again, this is also where vision comes into play. Because again, if you have no order, right? No motivation, no inspiration, no vision, no clarity on your vision, no purpose, how is there going to be advancement? Seriously. If you don't have any of these things in place, how are you even able to govern and judge or measure how much you've grown? Right? Your forward motion, your marker. See, when we talk, and I know we talked about this is years ago. This is probably like 2021. I know the video's not up anymore. But the initial focus on Yahusha word, we dealt with the word sin, the word chata. And it's the idea, watch this, of marks to show how far off of a target one is when shooting targets or arrows at a target, right? So the idea of sin is how far off you are from the vision of the goal, which obviously we know the goal is Yahusha, but the goal specifically is to be a light being as Yahusha is that supreme light being. Hallelujah. To be that influence the way that Yahusha is that influence. Was that influence? He's talking to multitudes of people, healing the sick, right? Everywhere he went. right? Turning fish and loaves of bread to feed thousands, turning water into wine. Now I'm talking about everything, raising the dead, all of these things that he was doing. Again, he's able to do these things because he was that in tune. He was that in tune with the divine order of Abba Yahuwah. He was able to manifest these things from his own consciousness and awareness here in this earth realm. And again, him speaking this to us that we are the light is him telling you, hey, you're an extension of that power that I became. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And think about it. He was doing all this before he ascended. Crazy. Doing all of this before he ascended into that esteemed body, right? Where he is seated at the right hand of the Father. So again, him giving us access to the Ruach HaKodesh. Oh man, listen, that light, it's within you. It's for sure within you now. See, it was within us before. It was just not accessible. Now it's accessible, right? Hallelujah. So I'm gonna give you a couple principles, and we're gonna hit 2 more precepts, and we're gonna be done, right? Whew. 1, and these are principles of light, right? 1, to be the light means to consistently evolve. Consistently. Not to just evolve one time this year and then in 4 years take another step forward. No. There has to be consistency, right? To be the light means to consistently evolve, to move forward on the path, not be in the same place, executing the vision, right? 2, second principle of light, right? Light creates an influence because of your growth, elevation, and evolution, which is an expansion of your consciousness. What is your consciousness? Your awareness, right? You being able to function in your consciousness as a ruachal being. Your mind not governing and dictating things for you, but you actually being in that seat. Hallelujah. See, this is what Yah meant when he says, hey, you are all L's. If you're formed, watch this, if you are formed in the likeness and image of Abba Yahuwah, who is powers, what does that make you? But why are we not operating in that? Because we dim in the light. We're dimming that power, right? We're traumatized. We're not doing the things that need to be done to remove that cover off that light, right? And again, it's an expansion of your consciousness, right? And again, this draws natural attention. You listen, you out here flowing and vibrating. This is ultimately why people attract the things that they put out, because again, they're doing these works on their end to produce this within themselves. So it naturally projects outward wherever they go. That's why we go into the store. I know we go into Whole Foods, right? Hallelujah. People they can see it on you. They can feel it on you when it's actually real and it's actually present, right? We go into Whole Foods, dude. Hey, man, I don't know what it is, man. But, yeah, it's Yahusha. Hallelujah. It's Yahuwah. Hallelujah. And it's crazy because during that time period, I'm definitely nowhere near now. I was nowhere near where I'm at now, then. So I'm saying all this, and again, I'm just using this as an example. When you're doing these things, it's visible, right? But it first has to take place in the invisible realm. See, we see things in the invisible realm all the time that we don't perceive as the invisible realm, and we just think that it's something else. No, it's because we're not in tune with ourselves. See, your Ruach is in tune. Your Ruach is in tune. But the mind takes the information that the Ruach gives it and may process it wrong if your mind isn't in control. I'm sorry, if your Ruach isn't in control of your mind. So your mind may tell you something else. That look cool, but XYZ. That seems like it's right, but I don't know. I don't know. That doctrine may be a little bit off. No. It's on. It's on. But you have to be in tune and aware with your own self to be able to perceive and recognize these things. Remember, the light gives you the ability to arrange things. One of the first things that the light allows you to put in order and arrange, man, it's your thoughts. Please write this down. You can't arrange your thoughts. Do you know an arrangement also involves throwing away, discarding? Why do you think it's a trash bin on your computer? I'm just saying. But you, the Ruach aware being that you are, have to do this with your mind. You have to do it. Right? Hallelujah. So yeah, and by doing this, watch this. Oh, this is so it's just like a computer. Do you know that the more unneeded files that you delete off of your computer, what does that do to the computer? It makes it function better. It frees up space to make it more efficient. The term is optimization. See, we're dealing with Ruach optimization here. Hallelujah. But again, it begins, before even incorporating what I'm talking about here, you got to deal with that trauma. Because if you still got trauma going forth and you trying to do all this, people are just going to see that trauma. This is going to come out in a different way. That's going to be in your mind, and it's going to come out in your actions, in your conversation, in everything that you do. Right? So, yeah. So now we can go to John 1. And again, just two more places and we're going to be done. Go to John chapter 1. John, baby. Hallelujah. Yahusha 1.
Sean
1. Hallelujah. That light. All right. So look, what we're going to read here is going to parallel what we read in Genesis. Watch. So this is verse 1 in John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Aleph Tav, who? Elohim. Powers. Right? Bereshit. Right? And Elohim was what? The Word. You see that? So him, and what was the word that he said? Light. Woo! Do you see that connection? Yeah. See, Yahusha right here, he's ruachally taking you back to Genesis 1. But watch this. He's connecting Genesis 1 to Yahusha being the light. As that extension of Abba Yahuwah's power in Yahusha being the Word. Hallelujah. If that makes sense and that just connected, say can. Hallelujah. So look, yeah, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Aleph Tav Elohim. And Elohim was the Word. And the same was in the beginning with Aleph Tav Elohim. I got to say this. Oh, man. You are the words you speak. You are the words you speak. You are. There's no running from it. There's no hiding from it. It's just the truth. Because your natural Ruach aware being self is going to speak from what is in your Ruach. So guess what? If it's darkness there, guess what's going to be spoken? But if it's light there, guess what's going to be? That's going to come out. Hallelujah. See, this is ultimately why, even when it comes to like the music, like, yeah, it's an actual frequency, because these words are not just words. We're not just in here freestyling and just thinking it's cool stuff to say over music. No, these are things that are coming from our Ruach. And it's supposed to activate. Hallelujah. Matter of fact, no, I've seen it activate. I know it activates. Hallelujah. Beginning with me. Hallelujah. So anyway, let's keep going. Right? The same was in the beginning with Aleph Tav Elohim. All things were made by him. And without him, somebody say him. Yeah. Without him was not anything made that was made. So he's telling you, yeah, who is source powers? Yep. Everything that you see in existence right now, you can call it demonic. It all goes back to the source. Hallelujah. Let's keep going. Verse 4. In him was life. Right? Hua. Right? Breath. Existence. And the life was the light of men. Wait a minute. The life was the light of men? Let me tell you what this is saying right here. This is saying that in the beginning, in the very beginning, powers, Abba Yahuwah, made you, watch this, with a war. Oh, you know man wasn't created till day 6, by the way. What day was light formed? What does that say? Hallelujah. See, Mashiach, in his word, that's what he was basically telling us. He was like, yo, listen, you got it. You just need activation. You're laying dormant. Right? So look, verse 5. And the light does what? Shines where though? Where was light first created? See, and this is an encouragement to everybody that is in tune right now. I don't care how crazy, bad your situation may look. Yo, light was created in darkness. It's the perfect atmosphere for your activation. Hallelujah. I'm going to say it again. This is the perfect atmosphere for your activation. Hallelujah. 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 If light was created in darkness, what does that say about anybody that's in any type of situation? See, I'm going to just preach for a second here. Preach. This is ultimately why pressure is good. Pressure is good because it makes that diamond. If it wasn't no pressure, you wouldn't be motivated to do the things that you need to elevate and get to the next level. See, this is why Yahuwah allowed you to go through certain things, because guess what? There's light within you that's laying dormant. Hallelujah. No, it's time. Somebody say activation. Activation. Begins now. Begins now. In darkness. In darkness. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm telling you, this is what it is. It's like, this is why the pressure is there. Oh, and at the end of the day, if you make a mistake in the pressure, it's cool, because you're going to learn from that mistake, and guess what you're going to do? Get better. Elevate. Go to the next level. Hallelujah. Period. That's why it ain't no shame in our game and what we saying and what we doing, period. Because we get it. Oh, yeah, that was, man, I learned a lot. And guess what I'm going to apply moving forward? Everything that I learned. Hallelujah. It's knowledge. It's the opposite of ignorance. It's applied knowledge. Wisdom. Right? And the light shines in darkness, and the darkness did what? Comprehended it not. See, a person that doesn't understand, they don't understand because they choose not to understand. It's ignorance. Which is a form of what? Darkness. Last place we're going to go to. Whew. I pray people can really, really perceive what Mashiach is telling us in this light. Hallelujah. Matter of fact, no, 2 more places. Go to John 12. John. Somebody say John. John. We in John. Matter of fact, no, I'm sorry. 11. This is so good. This is a scenario where Mashiach was able to expand and elaborate in the scenario where he was about to heal Elazar, right? Or Elazar, however you want to say it. Right? He's talking to his Talmudim because he's walking, right, miles. He's walking from where he is to get to where they are, and it's a pretty long journey, right? So I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna actually start at verse 7. So it says, then after that, he said to his Talmudim, let us go into the land of Yehuda again. So obviously we know that's Yehuda, right? Because they had left. They were, obviously in the northern kingdom area. So they're coming back. Verse 8. His Talmudim said unto him, Rabbi or teacher, the Yahudim of late sought to stone you, and you go thither again. So he's like, man, wait a minute, hold on. And again, going back to the root of our trauma that caused slavery, this energy right here, they trying to stone the one that's trying to activate your light. Crazy. But same way this day. Trying to stone the one trying to activate your light. Deep. Anyway, let's keep going. His Talmudim said unto him, Rabbi, the Yahudim of late sought to stone you, and you go thither again. Yahusha answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he what? Stumbles not. He stumbles not. Because he sees the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he what? Stumbles. He stumbles. Why? There's no light in him. It doesn't matter what you're doing. With this root of darkness in you, you will not accomplish what Yah has placed in your heart to accomplish. There is no activation outside. There's no activation outside of light. See, this is ultimately why the forming of the worlds, the foundational event in Genesis 1 is what? Yah speaking and creating light. Because outside of that, you can't move forward. And this is why you see people that are stagnant in life to this very day. It's not because they don't have desires. Watch this. Oftentimes, it's not even because they don't have a vision. Because sometimes they might have a vision. It's darkness. That's what it is. So what is he telling them? He's telling them, he's like, look, man, at the end of the day, I'm going here. Don't worry about me being stoned. I'm the Aleph and the Tav. My time. I basically, I know when my time is coming. And when my time comes, it's ultimately to activate all of y'all. So stop thinking about the carnal matters and think about what we're about to do, which is raise somebody from the dead. Think about that. But then he says something key. He says, if any man walk in the day, he stumbles not because he sees the light of this world. He's literally telling you the same function of awar. When the light of your ruach is present, you're not going to stumble. Why? Because you've elevated from darkness and you're able to see whatever it is that's hindering you and overcome it. Even if in this physical realm, it's still present. Man, that was huge. Did y'all hear what I just said? Even if these things are still present in this physical realm, if your light is activated, you are able to perceive whatever needs to be done to overcome whatever that obstacle is. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. See, this ties in hand with what we dealt with last week with roots. That's where you begin. See, light is ultimately what gives you the blueprint to whatever root is causing an effect in your life. Hallelujah. And this is what Mashiach is telling. He's really going in by saying, like, look, at the end of the day, I understand that they were trying to stone me. But do you think somebody trying to stone me is going to prevent me being the actual light of this world from operating in my purpose and my function? Absolutely not. Oh, and was he stoned, by the way, when they went to go do this healing? Absolutely not. Matter of fact, a lot of those people that were trying to stone him became followers and believers of Mashiach when they seen him resurrect this guy from the dead. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. But see, this is why, again, this is an example of how the world has to see your light. They have to see your good deeds, and they have to see that it's a connection between you and Yah, that Yah is the source. Hallelujah. They have to, if they don't see that, then what you're doing is actually darkness because it's not authentic, because you're not the source. See, it's ruachal plagiarism. No, it is. And we got a lot of people that do that to this day, right? Because ultimately what they're doing is they're taking credit for something that can only be done by the work of Abba Yahuwah's hand. I mean, that's another aspect of the darkness of this world, right? Why are we paying for lights and paying for, we're paying for these things, right? Because ultimately a man was able to tap into his source power and he made a business out of the natural resource that Abba Yahuwah already placed in the earth realm. I'm just saying, it's ruachal plagiarism. Oh, but there will be a day, hallelujah. 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 There will be a day where all that changes. It's called the kingdom. Hallelujah. Woo! It's called the kingdom. It will change. But for now, what do? We activate the light within us. Hallelujah. We become the optimal versions of ourselves. I was going to go another place, but I'm not even led to do that. Here's what I'm led to do. I'm going to give you another principle for light. Your light works begin within first, before anything can be done externally. Your light works. And when I say light works, I'm not talking about, the idea of works that the awakening in Christianity have, people keeping Torah, which is obviously good. I'm talking about your light activation. Your light activate. There's a difference between light works and light activation. See, light works are people that, hey, they keep the Shabbat, they honor their parents, right? They, name a commandment, they probably keep it. But guess what? There's still darkness there. There's still trauma there. There's still misery. There's still dysfunction. There's still aspects that are outside of Yahuwah's pure fullness of his Ruach that are present, that are preventing them from being what they could be. So guess what? They're not activated. They're dormant, right? Why do you think so many people don't even believe in Mashiach? Them light works without activation. Heavy. So look, we have a responsibility to respond to this call from Yahuwah to activate this light that he's already placed within us. To function as, to be, to exist as, watch this, the highest version of ourselves. And this can only be done when we take off the baggage, when we come out of the darkness, when we really address those root traumas. And it's almost like, I feel like I'm repeating myself from last week, but it is just the truth. That's where it begins. Because all those things sabotage the vision. They sabotage and they dim the light. No. We have to take all of these things that are associated with the low vibrational frequency of darkness off and put on, or turn on, I'll say, that light that is already there. It's almost like within your Ruach, there's an actual light switch. Somebody say, my light switch, comes on today. It's what it is. Turn it on. Matter of fact, turn on your Ruach light switch. Hallelujah. It's on. Don't turn it off. If you're in a situation, or you're in a circumstance, watch this. If you're in a situation, you're in a circumstance where you feel darkness, you feel stagnant, turn on the light. It's already within you. You are the light of the world. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You're that extension of the power source, Yahuwah. But again, you have to deal with what he's telling you to deal with. And for some of us that don't know what that is, that's a part of the work in turning the light on. So I'm going to leave with this and then we're done. There's 3 things to begin this process of dealing with darkness within you. 1, and again, this is like the precursor to light activation. Because I don't care how many times you do this and you say the light within me is activated. If you don't do these 3 things, you're going to still be in darkness. 1, stop making excuses for your trauma. Stop justifying your trauma. Stop being the victim. I'm wounded. I'm wounded. I'm wounded. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized. I'm this way because da 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 da. I'm this way because da 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 da. No, you're going to stay in that place with that mindset. Hallelujah. I'm breaking that mindset today. Hallelujah. That's got to be your mindset. That's got to be your energy. That has to be your ruach, which creates the mindset. Because remember, your mind works for your ruach, which is the authentic you. No, I'm not a victim. No, I'm not traumatized. No, I'm not wounded. No, I'm not. You know why? Because I've identified the root and I've uprooted it. I have. Oh, watch this. And any residue that feels like it's there, gonna get uprooted. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's step 1. And again, this is something that, again, if you're not doing this every day, darkness gonna creep back in. You got to do this every day. Anytime you feel it, anytime you perceive it, hallelujah, you address it right then and there. Hallelujah. It's got to be checked. Hallelujah. That's 1. 2, stop going back. Stop going back. And what do I mean, stop going back? This is really a mental thing. This is the idea. This is the idea of you going back to a place that your mind is trying to take you to. I see. This is telling you, no, I'm not going there. So it's ultimately policing the thoughts of your mind. Policing the thoughts of your mind. And after you've already dealt with the excuse thing, like you don't have no excuses, then you can actually police your mind. Right? You can set the barriers. You can set the parameters. Right? Of what actually goes in your mind. Right? That recycle bin. And then 3, I mean, this really just ties in with number 1. Stop justifying other people's dysfunction. Because nobody has a reason or an excuse to remain in dysfunction, which is darkness, which is trauma, which is unforgiveness, and I can just keep going on and on and on, and I'm not going to. But that whole thing, what does this have to do with you? Because by you justifying that person's dysfunction, it's showing that there are still roots in your ruach to make room and a place for dysfunction. Yeah, man, he's only doing that, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, he's doing that like, you know. And again, I'm not saying that you treat this person, like you still show this person love and you pray for their wholeness and you desire their wholeness and their healing for one. Everybody understand what I'm saying on that. Like, you don't treat them mean because of it, but you don't allow them to make excuses to the tools of their healing and their light activation when all of us have the same 24 hours in the day, like Mashiach just said. Is it not 12 hours in the working day when the sun is out? Oh yeah, for sure. So they still have the same access to these practices that you do. So don't justify yourself. Don't justify anybody's darkness. Turn on the light. Matter of fact, how about you be the light and allow them to see your activation so that's a bigger witness than anything else. You actually being the activation and them seeing your activation. I'm telling you, it speaks more than any word you can tell them. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So all esteem to Yahuwah. That's all I got. I'm not about to prolong. It's other places I could go, but I'm just feeling that of the Ruach to shut it down here and to let y'all know that our vibration has been raised. Our frequency has been reset through this word. Hallelujah. 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 Take it. Take it. Hold it. And when you hold it, release it within your inner being, your Ruach inner being. Matter of fact, take your hands and do like this. It's a part of you now. Your light has been activated. Hallelujah. 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 All esteem to Yahuwah Elohim Zavo. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Shabbat. We love you. And we'll see you soon. Shalom.